Morning, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Just a reminder, everything we're about to do is just for educational and entertainment purposes only. We do not trade with live funds. It's strictly just used to demo and paper trade. You should be able to see my charts now. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Please let me know if for some reason you're not seeing it, and excited to join this volatility with you guys, talk about what CPI is going to most likely do and where our system is pushing things, and take it all the way to New York Open with you guys. But excited for you guys to join us. So let's get it. Let me know if anything is an issue. But I appreciate you guys being here. And if you can just give me 1 second, I'm just going to tag everyone on our Discord really quick just to make sure everybody's over here. But we appreciate you guys. Give me 1 second, and then I'll update everything. Anything you're wanting to see specifically, your assets, just let us know. And we are here to help. Morning, Zip, Adam, West. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today, man. Almost done sending the Discord stuff. Last one. All right, we're good. Cool. All right, friends. So over here, currently our ES and the NQ are in a long confirmation and have already played out. And then I can show you, like, at this point, that long was confirmed right here. The ES is fully played out. The NQ is the one that hasn't finished just yet. When I say fully played out, I just mean how far it's moved. So our average move is 65 ticks, which is 16 and a half handles, and we've moved 13.25. So it's within 85 to 87% accurate to the average move. So this play is already done. That's where the stop would have been, in between the two boxes. And then the NQ is the one that hasn't floated up enough. It's only given 27 and a quarter handles, with the average being right at 65 handles, or the next box, whichever comes first. But at the moment, there's no short. So just listen to what I'm saying. You can't short the current ES and NQ. So the only thing we're looking for them is to finish going upwards. But if you have taken any of those positions, the NQ, especially with the CPI release in 10 minutes, is not one to be holding at the moment, because the ES has already played out 13 handles in our favor. The Russell, I keep saying Russell. I apologize, from yesterday. This is US 30. And then the US 30 has had 3 shorts, the first one being right here. You can see the system did a really good job last night of saving us from going long on the US 30 here at right around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then from that point, that was your first short. And then if you missed that one, there's another opportunity, and then now another opportunity from the Asia, and then 2 times during the London session. And so right now, just drawing this out on good old US 30. This is the average move. You can see even the stop too was our average invalidation point right at the top of the box, just slightly bigger. And then right now, the average win on US 30 is 105 points. And right here is our daily beacon and scalp target, and it currently has an 80% chance to clear that. So looking for a US 30 to clear that. Now listen, this is really important, especially current members, everyone. You have an ES that is confirmed bullish, and you have an NQ that's confirmed bullish, and a US 30 that's confirmed bearish. So at this release, with this extra volatility, something's going to have to fail. Now, reminder, the ES has already produced more than 50% of the average move, so this play is done, okay? And now we've come back to the box, so there won't be a play till after the CPI release, and then the NQ should be neutral because of what the ES has done. US 30, folks, your stop should be at break even now at this point too, over here, okay? Because you've already traveled, again, about 80 to 85% of the average move. The average is 105. But as of right now, you've been given about 87 points. Just put in another 2 points just now on that drop. The SQ, and then True Algo members, this is more for you. People who are not members won't really understand this part. No offense to everybody out there. It's just how we use our system. Right now, the SQ is confirmed bullish. So True Algo members, that means we're looking for price to do what? And that would be to push down bearish. So looking for that US 30 play to continue pushing down. Cool. Really quick, let's check the other, check the Russell. The Russell should also look bearish. The Russell's been pretty much perfect overnight. We had a long position right at the Asia session, right around that 10 p.m., pushed up. And then I just want to show you something. Our average win on Russell, you can see over here, is 116 points. And sure enough, look where that wick is. It's pretty crazy. Again, from that first initial push up, it actually went up 124 points, but our average being 116. And then it followed that with a short here. Again, averages being the same. It didn't complete the full average. It got to the box, and our take profits are either when it gets to the next box or the average, whichever comes first. This one was 81 points. So that's 200 points for the day. Then it got to the box for a third time for 67 points. And then just now, a fourth time of us completing that travel between the boxes. So over 300 points today on the Russell, and the New York session hasn't even started. But right now, the Russell just hit take profit again from our shorts. And so now the Russell is neutral. You're either trailing your stop loss and letting the shorts continue to flood downwards on the Russell, or you're out of the position for the CPI release. There's no new position for CPI. And then lastly, this is the SPY over here, guys, left side of our screen. The SPY is confirmed bearish. And then the QQQ is, looks like if it stays where it's at right now, right here, the QQQ is going to confirm bearish right at CPI. That means there's more likelihood that we are going to continue playing downwards for this CPI release. Cool. Last thing I want to do is look over at DXY, and does DXY fit the narrative? DXY is currently confirmed bullish. So if DXY is confirmed bullish, statistically speaking, you would have a bearish CPI if they're following what DXY is looking at. And currently at the moment, this is what the long position would look like on DXY, trying to take it to travel to the next box. Your stop should be at break even at the moment, especially with the increased volatility about to get up here. And then the euro is currently in a bearish confirmation. This is the, hold on, average win on euro is 36. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. So there's the average win on the euro. You can see that one's almost hit the full average win as well. Really quick, for those of you guys that are not members, you see how there's these closes up here? I'll make this bigger on the euro. And you're like, hey man, isn't this a loss? One, if it was a loss, we wouldn't lie and say, or try to avoid it like it didn't happen. But these are bullish candle confirmations of the box. But here's the thing. The euro, you see down here, it's a confluence asset. So the only way to take a long on the euro means you have to have a bearish confirmation below a box on DXY. And as you can see here, there was no bearish confirmation below the box. DXY is telling you to go long, which means you should only be looking to short the euro. And so when you got those closes above here to go long, you don't take that. So it helps you avoid a loss. Stocks, you have neutral on Amazon. You have bearish on Apple. That fits the narrative of US 30. And the Russell, SPY, QQQ. Also, NVIDIA is confirmed bearish. And then Microsoft is currently neutral. Gold looks like it's going to put in a bearish confirmation right at the CPI release if we can close below this box. So we'll just put that right there. Average win being 95 points, which would be right about this point. And then silver, folks, you look like you could put in a new short. And then as of right now, it was first confirmed short here. But this is where the silver play would be taken from. And this is the position trying to get going. And then currently US 30. Sorry, I keep saying US 30 today. Currently, oil, right side of our screen, is in a bullish confirmation as well. Only thing left is crypto, folks. Crypto, folks, right now, Bitcoin is neutral. So you can't do anything on Bitcoin. ETH is currently confirmed long. And Tether is in a bearish confirmation. So right now we're only looking for crypto to push upwards, but Bitcoin isn't helping because it's stuck And that's it, man. Again, reminder, neutral currently on the ES. And if you are on in the NQ, this long position, to me, you would be out at break even and waiting for the next close. Just because, again, the ES has already produced our long position as a win, and it's come back to hit this box waiting for a new close, everybody. See if we can get that US 30 to continue getting to its targets for this news release here. Yeah, the Russell's been beautiful. Remember last week, guys, there were some tough days, and then now things have been doing great. Though, what's called yesterday, we had that one loss on the ES and NQ on the short, and then from there, the system signaled those longs and just went vertical, which was nice. But there will be losses. But so far, the Russell this week starting to get on fire again, which is fantastic. It should go on a nice run for the rest of the week, too. That CPI release is almost in less than a minute. Again, see if that SQ will continue pushing upwards, which will pull all of these down. Russell, folks, again, if you guys are still in this position from the initial, your stop has to be at break even at this point for anything that you're trailing after hitting the first take profit. Less than a minute from that release, everybody. Can you see oil again? Oil's over here on the right side of the screen. We're in long confirmations, lots of stacked boxes on the bottom. Oil's trying to warn you that there's a lot of support here as it tries to push us back up. Guys, if you look over here, gold pushed back up into the box. The CPI is just about to release. Gold is not going to offer a short opportunity. It's going to be neutral. Even if we do push down at CPI, it won't be a win because it has to close below this box. That's why the position is drawn right there. And there's the release. US 30 with the back test on the box. The ES and NQ are finishing that initial long move upwards. DXY rejecting. The Euro, quite the wick on it too, pushing up here. Cool. So the ES, NQ, and US 30 all with smaller candles too for the CPI release, but you see this now trying to finish out as it gets up here. Again, not in this move at the moment. We had already played out earlier. If you were in the NQ, you just got more out of it now, guys, just a little bit. And then looking for, after we hit this box, then we can start drawing some new positions on screen. Just have to wait 15 minutes. And remember, we'll be here through the New York Open to help guide. You can see that the SPY and the QQQ can't open positions on them yet, but have come back to retest the box. Really quick right here, the QQQ did not confirm below the box. You guys see that? Watching just, these are the top 4 stocks that we watch. See how gold didn't produce the short, neither did silver confirm, but we can't take the short on silver until gold confirms. So have to wait for another close of 30 minutes, and then we could just see if we can get that short activation. I'm going to slide that over for if we do get it. Again, gold has to confirm short below the box, everybody. The NQ did get to that box, even though that's not something I'm still holding. So did the ES, but the ES would have already been done. That, again, that's not something that we were in. US 30, folks, now that we've popped that box, we could get short straight across the board on the next candle close potentially, or it's going to be the 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time candle. Something to watch. You see lots of back testing. Russell, folks, this isn't a loss. It was already the win from the box, and now waiting for the next candle. And then crypto, folks, you guys can see what I was saying about we were in a bearish confirmation on Tether and then a bullish confirmation on ETH, but Bitcoin is neutral. And you can even see that Bitcoin barely budged. You guys see that down here? But then look at ETH. pushing up real strong. And then now people, make sure you're not that retail trader that you guys get locked out of sometimes the first 1 or 2 minutes of any type of news release, and then you start jumping in. And then right here, those people go long because they see green and they're longing the top box only for price to sell off. I mean, it's really cool looking at the NQ one especially. You see this right here? It's to the absolute tick. And then price stops, they take profit because that's where we would look to short, not look to add in longs. And then True Algo members, for all of you guys, just taking catalog of all the things that are hitting a box above, like the ES, the NQ, US 30, SQ is hitting a box below, which is also fits the narrative. That's 4. 5 being SPY, 6 being QQQ, and 7 being Russell. So 7 for 7, all things hitting a box above, which is super important because that means we're going to get a lot of flow in one direction today. The only thing that's not fitting that narrative is the stocks. But all the index futures and non-index future ETFs that we watch, 7 for 7, all hitting a box above right now. Yeah, NVIDIA had a nice gap up down here. From trying to see what the... Can do that later. If there's anything you guys need to see as we're waiting for the next candle to close, please let me know. I'm trying to manage my own stuff too, that's why I'm clicking around. Again, that euro pushed down 36 ticks, and then now we're at a reload point. And then True Algo members, remember we just talked about the 7 for 7 things hitting a box above? If you look, the euro's also hitting a box above, that's 8. And then DXY is hitting a box below, that's 9. So 9 things all hitting the same exact place that we want to see. So could get some really explosive moves in our favor here between the next hour. Again, the next close, there's probably not going to be a bearish or bullish new confirmation. And that's in 9 minutes. That's why I say at the 9 a.m. candle is where we could have an explosive move start into the New York session, where we just move in one direction because everything is at the same area. Connor, right now, there's no new move yet. It'll be in the next 9 minutes, potentially on the ETFs. Yeah, no new moves, Connor. I'll let you know when there is because I'll draw them and bring attention to it. The only thing right now is just like that Ethereum position, but I know not all of you guys are on crypto. And then trying to get this up to the next box. The average win on crypto for Ethereum is 1.9%, and that actually takes us to the next box. So that would be the correct average win as well on ETH if it can finish getting to that next box. And then True Algo members, you have that ETH daily beacon right there. And right now there is an 81% chance that you will clear this price right here on Ethereum today. Bitcoin also has bullish targets above. Tether has bearish targets. So it just makes sense that crypto is going to finish going upwards. It would be a very big walk, though, for Bitcoin. It'd be a $4,000 move on it today to get up to those targets. Yeah, the Russell, like what Adam is saying, is the only one that's trying to get above its box, but it's still floating right at the top side of it, so still hitting the top side, Adam. And then US 30, folks, I'm going to move this off because there can be a potential new short activation. After this candle closes, it'll be the next candle that closes red. Just so you guys know, like about it from a predictive standpoint, I don't believe that the current candles you see right now, this candle that is literally green has to close red in order for us to enact shorts. So you already know, from at least from what I'm telling you, there's most likely not going to be a new short in the next 8 minutes. Because it would be in 8 minutes, that's when the candle closes. That means you don't have to sit here and stare at the charts for 8 minutes. So if you're somebody who's busy, you can just relax and come back in 8 minutes, but most likely there's not going to be a position. So in reality, the next position is going to be in 22 minutes, which is the 9 a.m. candle. See the Russell's pushed down a little bit more as expected as it's hitting that box above. Again, don't be retail getting trapped at the high right now. It's going to make it tough for you. You can see gold starting to push down harder, but again, we have to wait for that 9 a.m. candle to enact shorts. DXY doing a really good job of bouncing back from our box right here, and then that big old rejection on the euro. And if you guys can just give me 1 second, I'll just be right back. I'm going to go grab a quick coffee. All right, I'm back. You guys see how those people jumping in late, still thinking that it's going to work out, are now getting punished even more from that box above where we would be looking to short. I wish the SQ would have gotten just a little bit lower to tap this daily box, True Algo members, because that could cause a bigger rip downwards for everything. Again, still nothing new. I'm trying to show you guys what I mean by, like, watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see that Russell pushing down even harder now, Adam? And then 8, 9. 9 things all doing exactly what the boxes are designed. That DXY is pushing up real strong now from the box. It's still in that bullish confirmation too. We just needed a new activation because obviously this wick in a live environment, your stop loss at break even would already been tripped, and so now you're waiting for a new position to activate for continued shorts and then continued longs on DXY. Continued shorts on the euro, guys. We almost retraced the whole candle now. So True Algo members, I just looking at what is going on at the moment, it should be a nice aggressive day. Could be the trending day too. Just with how everything is reacting, all hitting the same boxes at the same time. Fixing video over here. You can't open these puts yet, but as of right now, Apple and Nvidia are looking for puts. It's Microsoft and Amazon that are still neutral. Again, puts at New York Open. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Gets a little boring here as we're waiting for the next set of candles to close, as our rules tell us to follow that. We do our best here not to jump to different time frames or different systems to try to force plays to be on the live. It's not how real trading works. You have to wait for your setup to occur, and ours occurs when the candles close. B, I don't know the rest of your name because it's just the letter B on YouTube. Some brokers don't have the Russell. You can try to look at R2K to see if it pops up, but on your broker, but not all props or brokers have the Russell on there. And the Russell is just one of the index futures. If you're a Russell trader, then you're probably also a US 30 person. And US 30 is pretty much in every single prop firm broker there are. Yep, still nothing's changed. You can see that gold starting to react real aggressive now. Oil, folks, you guys just got a new high on the right side of my screen on your long position as it's trying to finish playing this up. That's what the average move. Man, that's crazy. I'll show you what I mean. Like, this is the average move on oil. And then you can see here, this stop loss, as I highlight it, is 56 ticks right here. Average invalidation is 56 ticks. And then it's when we close beyond that point. And man, it got within 2 ticks and never closed beyond it. As it says, 80% of the time, you will not close beyond that stop loss, that average invalidation point. And now muscling up. So again, that's that premier entrance. I mean, you're getting an entrance within 2 ticks of that loss, stop loss below the box. Has to be below, not in between. And then you trying to take this still to the same average win. It's a 5.5 R if it plays out. 2 minutes on that close, everyone. It'd be great to get huge short opportunities. It's going to be a little bit difficult on the ES and the NQ from the get-go because they're going to pop these boxes and cause us to be neutral. But we do have targets that are on the bearish side, True Algo members to be aware of down here. And I believe all of them are in the 80% or higher chance to be cleared. You can pop up the stats. The True Algo system will tell us the opportunity percent that we'll get down here. Just wait for them to load. We already have the US 30 up. Remember, there's an 80% chance to get here. 80% with my terrible drawing. So there's a 75% chance that throughout the New York session, the ES is going to get down here to this one. And then there's a 73% chance that the NQ is going to get to this one, but this one's closer. This one is 80% chance. So 80% chance overall that we're going to flush bearish during the New York session. And we'll keep watching. We did finally get that close, everybody, that we were looking for. You see how the candle closed green for index futures? So that means, this is what I was saying before about you can predict that there's no new move. Because it's a bullish close, therefore you can only look for longs, but there's no long if you hit a box above because you're trying to look to get into shorts. So as of right now, there still is no new move. Excuse me. On the ES and NQ. Like we were saying earlier, the next move is going to be when we have that candle produced at 9 a.m. if we can get this candle to close bearish. So again, you're still neutral. I'll draw my terrible N up here. That is very awful. Try this again. Neutral and neutral. US 30, you're neutral now. Again, we can predict these things. You have to close this current candle red in 14 minutes, and then we can have shorts. The SQ is still in a bullish confirmation, which again leads us to want price to push upwards. Upwards on the SQ, downwards on everything else. You can see there's no new position produced on the SPY. The SPY is still bearishly confirmed. The QQQ is neutral. That's in the center of our screen. Remember, True Algo members, you want this QQQ to match the NQ. And so when this QQQ closes down here for bearish or puts on the QQQ, that's when the shorts on the NQ work out better. But as of right now, you guys can see closely, the candles are still stuck in the boxes with their closes. Therefore, you're supposed to remain neutral. So True Algo is telling us to hurry up and wait. So be aware of that. The Russell on the right side of the screen is also neutral. So lots of things that are neutral, so you have to wait. SPY is the only thing that's in a bearish confirmation at the moment. I'll draw this on here like this so you don't have to remember. Stocks, nothing has changed. Amazon is still neutral. Microsoft is neutral, which is not a surprise, right? Because the ES and the NQ are neutral at the moment. And then Apple and Nvidia are still in bearish confirmations. There is no new position on the commodities because it's on the 30-minute close. Same thing with Forex, no new position yet. And then crypto folks, no new position either. Because again, all of those are on the 30-minute. Yeah, Adam, you are correct. It wouldn't be a retest unless the candles have currently not moved 50% of their move on average. So if they've moved less than that, then you don't have to have that bearish candle to open new shorts. But at the moment, you do. I can pop the commodities up again from what you were asking. Again, I like that gold is retraced back up because we're waiting for 12 minutes for this next close for a new potential short on gold and silver. Silver's already confirmed bearish, so you just need gold to close below this box. But remember, gold just a little bit ago pushed down here. You don't want that because it's getting closer and closer to its next box, and it can reverse it. Oil's still in that current long position. It's dilly-dallying around the opening of it. A reminder, True Algo members, when the boxes are this close, CJ, if you're still here, bud, I see you chatting, that you can see how there's no candle able to produce a new move between these two boxes, so you extend into those both boxes. So any of these longs had to have deeper retracement to push up. And I'm pretty sure even the first long position, it still didn't go past the average loss. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. You guys see that? Again, 80% of the time, you will not close below that average invalidation point, and it has not. It held to a T, but just again, those two boxes are so close to each other right here that you're extending this box. Again, everybody, sorry that it's a little boring. We just have to wait for the candles to close. Any of you guys like on Real Brokers, your margin, maintenance margin should now be back to the normal percent. And then I just awkwardly wait here in silence. But I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Morning, Gene. CJ, thanks for responding, but I appreciate it. True Algo members, you guys already know too that if the current candle closes green, as everything is pushing up at the moment, then we're still neutral unless they can close above boxes, right? If they can close above the box, then we can produce long positions. But if it closes in the box, there is no long. You can see the US 30 and the NQ. They've got a whole lot of stuff in the way on the higher side, right? And then just something I'm thinking about, True Algo members, we've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. This is another week where we have not hit that lower side of our system. So like for me, I'm always looking for an opportunity for us to hit this and reject again from the weekly system and daily system stacked. And then again, being able to catch that short and riding it all the way down to the weekly system on the other side. Again, it's one of those things, 200-300 handles in your favor, especially if it can trend real hard and aggressive. It's one of those ones that you can really take advantage of the trail. But reminder, we haven't hit that lower side of the system in a while. So we'd be looking for that if we can get that. And this is a really big deal right here. You guys might want to write down 63.50 to 63.55. specifically today for the ES with that stacked box right there, the yellow over the brown. Morning, Aziz. Looks like oil's going down a little bit more again. Getting some retracement on that NVIDIA. Hey, Jeremy. Man, that's crazy. I didn't know that, Jeremy. I just haven't had a chance to watch. Been busy. That's so hard to do, though. Like I know you're obsessed with stats too, but like the percentage chance for that to happen is crazy. That tells you just how good he is. We're talking about poker at the very bottom there, everybody, in case you're wondering. That is crazy. Six and a half minutes from the close. Again, I apologize, guys. I'm not trying to bore you. It's just we have rules that we live by with the system, and there's no new position. So, again, if you're someone who works or you're busy, you can set the alert to just come back every 15 minutes. Or if you're someone who's not trading index futures, you're trading commodities or crypto or Forex, every 30 minutes you can come back. And this is for no positions that are active. So like if you're actively in a position, you can be managing it, but right now there's no active position. So just every 30 minutes, just come on back, maybe set every 28 minutes so you're back a little bit before the close so you can get ready to throw your ideas on if there's going to be a pick confirmation happening. But at least that way you don't have to stare at the screen. That's why the streams sometimes with you guys, I apologize, we're a little boring, but this is what real trading is. There is not always a move to be had. Aziz. If you guys look real quick, again, I'm trying not to talk too much so that the things that I say is easier to reference. If you guys remember over here on the SQ, I was saying I would really like the SQ to dig deeper to get to the daily box right here. And if you guys look, now it is digging. That's one of the reasons why these are pushing up right now, the indexes. Again, they move the opposite direction of that SQ on the right side of our screen. But like this would make me happy. And then True Algo members, watch this real quick. Something that would make me even more happy if it happens would be if the SQ gets down here. Because look, even the SQ has that double stack. But man, the opportunity that we could have from a short perspective, if New York does push up bullish, and then the SQ pushes, obviously it's going to push down bearish, but if we get to these double stacks between on the ES and Q, and that's where we reverse from, again, you're talking about an unbelievable bearish trend that could happen in our favor that people can't catch, but we can. But we'll see if that continues to produce out. You can see everything is pushing up, and now the stocks are all forming green and pushing up. You can, again, over here on NVIDIA, there's no position to be had. We're just tracking it as we get closer to New York Open for the options plays. And if this candle closes above that box, then at New York Open, we would be looking for calls on NVIDIA. We just have to wait for this close here in 4 minutes. Really aggressive move on the Forex just a little bit ago with DXY coming back down to this box and the euro pushing back up. We can check the pound to see if the pound is a little bit prettier on this. Man, that's crazy how different the pound looks. The pound should not look like this. So True Algo members, listen up, or anyone else if you're a Forex person. The pound should not look the same as DXY. That's like a major, major red flag. The pound should overall be looking like it's trying to push down. Like it should be looking like this. Something like that type of shape, and it's making the same shape as DXY. So if you are a Forex trader, be real careful with the pound right now, but also like even True Algo, you're getting smacked on both sides of the box to telling you to stay away too. So stay on things the euro or based off of the euro if you're a Forex person. That pound looks terrible. ETH, folks, remember it was retracing back down but still holding the original idea. trying to get to the average move, which is also the scalp target, which is also the next box. So 3 reasons instead of just one single reason to get to the box above on ETH. Steven is asking, is oil bearish or bullish? Oil is currently in a bullish confirmation, Steven, right over here on the right side of our screen. And then trying to make sure I didn't miss anything else you guys are saying. CJ, would there be hesitation on taking a Russell long with all the headway on ES, NQ, and US 30 above? Let's see what Russell's at. No, like CJ, for me too, like you're talking about like getting a long position off the Russell right here. The reason why that wouldn't bother me, specifically because you said the headway for it to push up, is because if the Russell produces a long up here, so will SPY. SPY has a little bit less room, so on the ES side. But the QQQ has a ton of room to help you. Do you see it? To produce that long all the way up to this next box. The SQ has way further down to go. And then the only thing is like what you're saying is that NQ and ES have a lot of in its way where we can't take any idea. The US 30 has a lot of room too if it can close higher. So it won't bother me for that position. If it worries you, then just size smaller. You know what I mean? We did get a new low on that SQ, guys. It just didn't tap that box. I'm trying to look that little highlighted white area right here for it to tap. Gold does look like it's going to confirm bearish here in less than a minute, wherever this position ends. Oil still in our long confirmation. And then silver, folks, you're already in a bearish confirmation. Wherever this candle closes, it's still already valid on silver. Can try to see if there's a new position on copper. Because copper, again, erring on the bearish side anyways. See if there's a bearish confirmation right here or already in a bearish confirmation on copper. That's over here on the right side of our screen now, guys. Just waiting for it to load. No, there's no position for shorts on copper. There's that close on gold. So, and silver, just like that is what we're looking at. Oil, you guys just pushed down real aggressive on that candle close just now. All right, index folks, I'm sorry, but like another candle where we are remaining neutral. Again, bullish candles that have pushed up and hit a box, so there's no new idea. It does look like the US 30 to put in a short right here. I'll show you guys what I mean. So you can see there was a red candle closed. And then as we draw the average US 30 position, you're going to see that the stop is further than the average. So for True Algo members, this US 30 idea has to be a smaller position because it can retrace all the way like this, just like it did earlier today here. So for that US 30 position, because the stop would be invalidated here, it has to be a smaller position. That way, if it does retrace, you can add into it to make it the normal position up here. Again, if it retraces, this is where you add in to make it a normal position. That way, your normal position starts there, not here, which means you're backloaded closer to your average stop loss point. But it is still in a valid short. It's the only one, though. The Russell did not put in a new short either. It's still neutral. SPY is still in its bearish confirmation, and then QQQ is still neutral as well. See if those shorts for gold and silver play out as we get closer to that New York Open in 30 minutes, everybody. We did change on NVIDIA, right side of your screen, everyone. NVIDIA is now looking for calls at New York Open. But in 15 minutes, it could close below the box, and then it'll be looking for puts. Microsoft is still neutral, so is Amazon. Apple is still in puts for New York Open as well. Leave this on the screen since US 30 is the only one in an active idea. I believe that the Euro and DXY have a new confirmation. Nah, it has to close bearish. So no new confirmation yet on DXY. DXY is still confirmed bullish. The euro is still confirmed bearish, but the current candle is not a new move. Again, the euro traveled, I think, like 85% of the average move. So that's why there's no new one. ETH, folks, you guys are still good, long and strong, trying to get to the, remember, 3 reasons to get up here. And I think Jeremy was talking about those totals earlier, that they're all flipping bullish too. You'll see down here there's going to be a set of boxes that totals are, yeah. Total 1 is telling you to be long on crypto. Total 2 is probably, yep, also now confirmed long is what Jeremy was saying. That's 2 for 2. And then total 3 for you altcoin folks. Again, looking for there to be a box. Yep, 3 for 3. So all totals are telling you to be long on crypto. So that does support the narrative for that ETH play to continue pushing higher. So we should get Ethereum at least up to our target, our average 1.9% move, and as well as the next box up here, everybody. We could get quite the bullish move if Bitcoin can get a close up here, because those totals all have room to run upwards. Gold and silver aren't budging very much currently on the position, and then oil retracing. And then Adam, I think you're asking us that similar question we talked to the other day. So just for I'm reading your question out loud. Just for confirmation, you would take the average win and invalidation from the close of the candle on. It's hard to read your question. I know you typed it quick. If you want to rewrite it, bud. Yeah, Jeremy, the only issue with Tether is that Tether still has a little bit of that support right here. But if Tether closes here, that's where Bitcoin's going to clear its box, and then we really can get a nice run again. And I don't need it to run to new all-time highs. It would just be nice to just take it all the way up to these targets. Again, that $4,000 move on Bitcoin's going to be nice. Alts and ETH are going to run way harder. So you'll get a new high on ETH because ETH would most likely cross 3,100. Just got to get Tether to clear that low. Again, clear this box, sorry. The first target on gold is 33.48 on the futures chart, and then target 2 is 33.45 if it plays out. Yeah, Adam, the stats are always from wherever the candle closed. So like you can see like over here on the US 30 position, even though this is the average invalidation point, it's taken from wherever that candle closes, and then you have to be prepared for that. This stop is going to be that much bigger. But one of the best things about this is it does have a lot of room to run further than the average win as well, because like essentially you could be getting that, but if it retraces and allows you to backload here, it becomes a much bigger position. But the stats are always from wherever that candle closed, not from wherever a box is, or like the wick hitting the box from the wick. It's wherever the candle closes. You can see oil reloading, and then gold and silver currently retracing. Average retrace on gold is 20. It's retraced 33 so far. Average retrace on silver is 12. Currently has retraced 8, so still has 4 more ticks. It actually just pushed up again. Crypto folks, ETH just put in a new high. Again, trying to get to these targets right here. And Bitcoin pushing above its box, that's really good news. Tether pushing below its box, also really, really good news. I gave you Aziz, I said the answer, but I decided to type it out too, so it's there. again, that there are multiple reasons to get that 33.45 as we have the weekly target there too for gold disease. Could get new activations right at New York Open for shorts on the euro and longs on DXY. ETH almost just got to that target. Sorry, I jumped off of it. You're welcome, bud. I know as soon as I leave that crypto play, it's going to come pop that, take profit. Remember, True Algo members, what we were saying about Russell. It's the only one confirmed. The average stop is not far enough above. And then just the potential that this is where you would load in for those shorts. Very small position at that open. Again, you have to make those decisions. That's why the stats are so important, because it tells you that this is where your average stop should be. But in this case, the play is not invalidated till there. Therefore, this is not one of those positions to load in heavy on the initial entrance. And for some of you, you might not even enter until it retraces. Like, you want to keep making the position look like that instead so that you can get this. Does that make sense? Yes or no? That's what I was saying that earlier when the position was being produced out. Commodities not moving much. Again, going to be a little boring. Sorry, folks. Marcos, how you doing, bud? Crypto's going fantastic. Just trying to get that ETH position all the way to the high. One of the coolest things, I think, when ETH... again, guys, it's over an 81% chance that you're going to get up here on ETH, is that when ETH gets here, it can be quite the run-up, guys, because all the totals are saying higher. Tether is going to say lower as soon as that gets cleared, and Bitcoin is going to say higher. So this can be quite the run-up for Ethereum and alts, especially throughout this New York session. So just keep your eyes on that. Obviously, Bitcoin's been the one that's having a lot of the fun with new all-time highs, but you could get some crazy bullish moves specifically today for ETH and alts. So just keep your guys' eyes on it. About 4.5 minutes from the next close, and we can update all the stocks and index futures as well as the ETFs, because they'll close in 15 minutes. Everything else will be right at New York Open. I'll cover it again. So I apologize. I'm not going to try to missay your name. We give you stats for most of the major assets, and for using the system, we try to teach you guys to shift to our time frame, which is if you're on the indexes, so ES, NQ, US 30, Russell, and if you're using the CFDs like SPX, Cash, 500, all that stuff, NAS, the FDAX, all that stuff, we suggest that you are on the 15-minute time frame. If you are wanting to trade commodities, you got, by the way, gold going a little bit more in our favor now, guys, on the short. Commodities, crypto, and Forex, we want you on the 30-minute time frame. But you don't use the 30-minute time frame on indexes. The rule is you have to use the 30-minute time frame on commodities, Forex, and crypto. But if you're someone who doesn't like those time frames and you're wanting to use smaller time frames, or you're wanting to use an even larger time frame, then you can make that decision, but the play can never be a win or a loss based off of you using a different time frame and then saying that it counts differently for you. So we try to force you guys to consistently move to a time frame that we use that's backed by stats versus backed by opinions or emotions. But you're welcome to use your own techniques with our boxes. Just note that, like, if you're in a live environment and price wicks or something like that on a small time frame, it's not a loss or a win. Well, the win can be fine, but the loss isn't until you close on that candle. We are going to have a future release here, hopefully soon, that will be for more people who want to swing plays, as in using things from our weekly system and a potentially larger candle. So if you're someone who's busy and you want to use like potentially like a 1 hour candle or something like that, we'll have that release coming soon. Sorry that we're a little, again, I always say sorry for the market, and I don't mean to. It's just, I know people are used to like lots of plays, and that real markets aren't like that. And so we're just having to wait for the close. Sorry that markets aren't super explosive. Come on, ETH. Trying to get it there on the live. Be very surprised if we don't pop it during that New York Open, if we don't get there before New York Open. Just about to have that new close here in less than a minute, everybody. Excuse me. Less than a minute, everybody. There's the next close. Still neutral on the ES, everybody. Still neutral on the NQ. Still in that bearish confirmation. We did get that retrace, just a little bit of retracement, not a lot on the US 30. But let me show you guys this real quick because the stats. Let me show you. So right here, this will show you the stats. It's going to populate right here in the bottom right. See how this says 36? I just want to show you what the stats actually say. Just give it about 5 seconds right there. See how it says average retrace 32? And you can see right here, so far we have retraced, that means to run against your position, 36. So again, within 90% accurate of that. So just expecting that, already increasing that R in your favor if you're someone who's playing it. But again, remember guys, from a live environment on New York, that invalidation point is higher. I'm just saying that current push against you is right along the average that it states, okay? SQ is still in a bullish confirmation, again, meaning we're looking for lower, but I really want that SQ to pop that box lower. Still looking for puts on SPY right here at New York Open. Again, if you're a QQQ trader, there is still nothing you can do at New York Open. It's still telling you to be neutral. And reminder, the NQ is also still neutral. And then True Algo members, reminder, we are exact here. We don't play with maybes. That Russell closed one tick above the box, and you guys know the rules. The rules state what? In order for you to take this long confirmation on the Russell, you have to close 3 ticks above the box. That is a single tick, therefore this is not a valid long confirmation. And again, that can help produce shorts here coming out. All the stocks are still the same, and there is that potential that if NVIDIA pushes down, it can produce puts right at New York Open. Apple's still looking for puts. Amazon and Microsoft are still neutral. That's why the ES and NQ are also still neutral. Silver is actually moving the opposite direction of gold right now, which is pretty rare, guys. They tend to move in the same direction. That gold play, it looks small on my screen, right? But so far, gold is already pushed down 56 points or $5.60 already. Trying to get gold down here to the average win. Again, that 345 to, Aziz, sorry, that first one was 347. And that second one is 345. I'm not really too worried about 343. I apologize. It's, to be exact, again, I know I said it, but I typed the wrong numbers earlier. I know you said you heard me. And then no new closes yet on that stuff. And then ETH still playing, waiting for it to get up here. Can I take a quick look at Bitcoin? And then you're saying, oh, hey, loose pot. No, bud. So Bitcoin, no matter what, as long as it closes, bud, without touching that box above here, this is going to be a valid long position at New York Open. And Tether supports it because it'll be a valid short. And Tether has a lot of room to run. It doesn't matter if, over here on the left side of our screen, if Ethereum has already hit take profit 1 or 50% of the average. That doesn't matter. It would still be a valid long confirmation no matter what. The only thing that would stop the idea from a long position on Bitcoin would be if ETH hits this box and then closes bearish. Then you have a conflict. But it can hit this box and close in the box and remain neutral, and it would still be valid on Bitcoin and Tether. Sorry that we're having to wait. We are getting, I want that SQ, man. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. This. And then the SQ is going to show its fate. And whichever one of these two versions the SQ does, that's going to be where the ES and NQ fly. It just needs to get to this box. I know it's inside that weekly box. I remember, Trug members, I teach you guys, again, shout out to Mike, about that SQ leading the way in a live environment from our boxes. Nothing changed on any of those. Nothing changed. DXY really muscling up nice now. ETH, folks, we might get it here. I know a lot of you guys don't trade crypto, but right now there's no new position besides the US 30 short. So right now we're just watching this. Yeah. The Bitcoin has to literally hit that box. Loose pot. It doesn't matter, bud, how close this got right here. I'll make it bigger. It doesn't matter if that's 0.2 or 3 ticks. It has to literally hit this box to mean you remain neutral. At the moment, as long as this candle closes green, it's bullish. The only thing that would also stop you would be is if Bitcoin closes back in the box and still closes green. It wouldn't matter. Closing in the box means it's neutral. This candle could close bullish or red. Doesn't matter. It has to close above, which it is, and it can't almost hit the box to invalidate. It has to literally touch it. Therefore, this would be a valid long in 9 minutes at New York Open. You guys see US 30 starting to retrace further. Just on the SQ, CJ, for me, not as far as the NQ, because you're saying the Qs. I don't know if you're saying the SQ or referring to the QQQ and the NQ. Only the SQ is what I'm worried about for just the daily system. Let me know if that was confusing or that answers your question. But I do use the weekly system like on the actual QQQ ETFs. Gold did put in another new low, everybody, just a second ago. I'm trying to show you on the 1 minute right there. New York's in about 7.5 minutes. See if we can get gold to pop that 95-point move on average before New York Open. It's got 8 minutes, so it has plenty of time to do it. You can see oil again being a little bit tough. Reminder, True Algo members, there's so much support here on oil, even if that extends further. But True Algo members, please keep your eyes and an alert, even on yourself if you're not watching the system, that oil down here between 66 and 65.7, this could be a really big long opportunity. This is also on my macro update too. This box, there's an extra box here from my Confluence. So it could get quite the longs from that area if we get down there. There's just so much support built on oil down here. We always want it to blast off, right? But that doesn't mean it's going to happen. ETH still playing games. I want to catch it on the live, but it's just taking too long to finish out. Feels like gold's just about to push down into another new low. Exactly, Wes. That's what I'm watching, bud. I'm always hunting for those weekly. I mean, you can see me even on gold and silver. They're all there. Stack, stack. Look for those stack boxes, man. They can provide some of the best moves for the week, which then turn into the best move of the month. US 30, by the way, guys, if you're with me live on that idea, do you see how we've now retraced exactly what we were saying? And so now from here, if you're not in that position, now you're starting to make it into more of a normal position where the average win would take you down to there. It doesn't mean it's going to be a win, remember? It's just that way you enter in. If you do enter in here, it's very small. That's what we talked about. That way you're prepared for that pushback. And remember, the US 30 is the only one that's in that bearish confirmation. So there's all those reasons on a live candle situation where you want to size small, not big. And that was covered. Let me know if there's any confusion on that. By the way, the SQ did finally get to that box now. So we did get to this area we were trying to gun for. So should have some real aggressive moves here during the New York session, which is going to be fun. NVIDIA has now pushed back below the box. So for you options folks, at New York Open, if that candle closes red, NVIDIA is going to be looking for puts, not for calls. Everything else is still currently the same as what you're seeing. Looks like ETH, I keep saying that, but like it's at the very top now. Just trying to get to our target. Come on, man. Let's go. I need it to happen before New York so I can watch it. Here comes the new high on that current candle. That just happened. Here comes that first daily target. Come on. Let's go. There's that first target. There you go. And then now just to get to this box to finish out the full one. There it is right there. Ta-da. Just takes a little bit. So there's that, look, 1.9%. You can see average win, 1.9%. Remember I said there were 3 reasons to get Ethereum up there. First was this target. Second is the average win. The third reason is the box, because that's take profit too. So you have take profit 1, 2, all in the same exact area. Just makes perfect sense. And so now you take profit. It's up to you if you want to close a position or trail your stop. One thing to remember, folks, is if you're worried about closing your position and you think you're going to miss out on a whole bunch more wins, as soon as ETH closes above this box, that's a new long position anyways. So don't stress yourself out. If you're worried about that, just trail your stop, take profit. Just trail it. Be okay closing some chunk here, leaving some meat on the bone and letting the play ride. Now that that's played out, I don't think gold put in a new low. It did. It's doing it right now. It's right at the same area. Here it comes. Again, trying to get to that first take profit of 347.9. US 30 still continuing to retrace everybody. Retracing on SPY. SPY's still going to be bearish confirmed at New York Open, but you want the ES to be confirmed too, so this isn't something to take. A reminder that Q is still neutral as well. The Russell does look, as long as it closes up here, CJ, if you're still here, but I'm pretty sure you are, the New York Open is saying to look for reasons to go long on the Russell. That's the average position. The stop looks good, right? But the take profit average up here at the double stack. First take profit is when you hit that box right there. We'll see. It does look like it's going to produce the position out though. There's your take profit hit live for gold, everyone. You guys see it? Aziz, if you're still here, bud, that you can see that first take profit 347, and then now the next one, that 345 is next. It's 345.4 to be exact on the futures chart. But guys, as you can see, gold now has hit take profit 1. So gold and ETH playing out on the live. Index folks, we're still having to wait, and that's just part of the game. Minus US 30, that's retraced back to the box. Yep. You're welcome, Aziz. Hope that helped, bud. Be even better if it just keeps flooding, right? Real nice aggressive candle. New York open at bearish, just all the way down here. This would be, again, we're trying to get to these stack boxes. That would be fantastic. It's all the way at 330 on gold. That's another 130 points lower on gold. We really need that to happen too to help the silver play out. A little less than 2 minutes from New York Open, everybody. Again, index folks, you got to wait. You can't do anything. So just be aware of that. Any type of bearish candle close would be a valid confirmation on both NQ and the ES because they have hit that box above. You guys see the take profit happening. Again, the average move on gold is 95 points or $9.50. You see how we didn't tip this box right here yet? Just means that gold can go lower, but right now they're taking profit at our average win. You know how people say that? Like you can, because they're trying to make a narrative fit. I'm telling you, like the stat is right there, and you can see the stat right here. So to me, they're just taking profit there and then can do something like that, where people short the low too early, and then now they get punished, and then they go long, and then they finish the move out and get to this box. New York Open is going to produce a new long position on DXY and a new short position on the Euro right at New York Open. Trying to position it correctly as best that I can as I'm floating between assets. There's the New York Open. Let me get back over here. US 30 still in that bearish confirmation. We actually did get a bearish confirmation on the NQ, but there's no bearish confirmation on the ES. Therefore, you can't take the short idea. Russell, folks, you guys should have confirmed long. Yep, it's right here. SQ and SPY are still not helping the ideas. And then stock, folks. Remember, NVIDIA, we were talking about that would produce puts right at open, and it did as it closed below. So that's what we're looking at on NVIDIA. You're still neutral on Microsoft, still bearish confirmed on Apple. And then now Amazon has hit a box, but it's still neutral. So True Algo members, just listen to me. As we go through this New York session, there's the opportunity that we could get. Again, what I'm looking for is this, and that would be fantastic. That way they're all screaming to short, and you could get heavy, heavy shorts if it plays out. Just be careful, because if you're in Russell and those shorts produce in the next 15 to 30 minutes closes, it's going to pull that Russell position down. It helps the US 30 folks though, right? And Russell's been so good today, it wouldn't surprise me that if we do get shorts, that the Russell's going to fail finally. Remember, the Russell has 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in a row. And the average win rate is 72%. So just size really small here because it could be a loss. Again, if the shorts get activated on the other ones. There's no shorts being activated. But something has to lose. Either Russell's going to lose on its long or US 30 is going to lose on its short. Does that make sense, everybody? One of those two is going to fail because they follow each other. We covered that on Sunday. The SQ is now producing that long idea. You guys see from the first drawing up. And again, if that SQ pushes up, it's going to pull the ES and NQ downwards. You can see the opposite reaction on US 30, and Russell's now pushing up even better at the moment. You can try to see how far the retracement was on Russell. Russell retraced 18 points. The average retracement is 27. So that's exactly 66% of the average retracement was fulfilled on the Russell play. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to cover as much stuff as possible. By the way, gold did exactly what I said. You guys see it? Gold has now hit take profit 2 at 345. Remember, those people who shorted too soon from our box getting hit to try to jump and follow that, they got caught here. And remember, the spreads are going to get wild, especially if you're on a CFD. They play with those spreads like crazy and now pushes down here. Silver, by the way, is pushed better into our shorts so far. And then crypto folks, you are in that active bullish confirmation. Hold on. Crypto folks, listen, especially loose pot, listen, buddy. Bitcoin did produce that long, but the game is a little bit different right now. Because, like, look, even though Bitcoin did produce a long, you needed Tether to support it. And Tether is still telling you to be neutral, not take an idea. And so if you're going to take the long on Bitcoin, you need a long on ETH. But look, ETH is now neutral. So there is a little bit of conflict that there wasn't before. If you go to the only total that can support your idea is total 1. You can't use total 2 or total 3 because total 2 and 3 don't include Bitcoin. I believe total 1 over here isn't an active bullish confirmation. So you do have support to take the long right now on Bitcoin. Does that make sense? So it does help you on that Bitcoin play. But you can't use anything else to provide the confluence, just those. I did not type correctly. There we go. Russell's retraced a lot now, and now everything's starting to reject from those boxes. And again, you can see SQ doing its job. US 30 folks, remember, one person has to lose. Either the Russell's going to lose or the US 30 is going to lose. Those of you guys that are live with me, I really want the shorts to play and get activated, and we're looking like it's starting to play out in our favor. The stock should start producing the same thing too, not Apple at the moment. NVIDIA pushed down really aggressive and then now pushed back up. It's funny, we're getting this bearish momentum, but the bigger stocks are still holding longs. Dr. Henry, you said, didn't we miss the gold move? I'm not sure what you mean, but gold's right here and was tracked as soon as this candle closed on the live stream. You can ask anyone else that's here. We're also still in the active short here on the right. Again, that's the bearish confirmation was at the 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time candle. Silver was actually confirmed two candles earlier, but you had to wait for gold to confirm. This is a really good stream to watch back because Dr. Henry, whoever you are, buddy, I think you're a member. You can just reach out to me on Discord, but every single candle was traced with it. You're welcome, bud. You guys see how gold's pushing further? Again, what I talked about, letting it trail. The goal is to get gold and silver all the way down to this double stack here, which, remember, that 333 to 330 target, and that'll allow silver to get to its full average win. This is actually bigger than the full average. This is the average move on silver. I'll show you right here. It's just about to get to the full average. That's take profit 1 right at 38,310, and then take profit 2 is when you get to that next box. But you could have a lot of room for it to trail downwards in your favor, so let it run. US 30, you're back to being in profit on that initial position. Again, that SQ looking really good if it can start pumping from getting to the daily box, and now just let the shorts flood in. I also like that the US 30 is moving the same direction as the ES and NQ. Thank you, Aziz. I appreciate it, bud. Could be really good from shorts. Be even better if it trends. Obviously, True Algo members, we were talking about this to happen, but if you get shorts earlier, then it is activated earlier. US 30 won't care. US 30 now is about 25% of that average win. If you guys got in at any of those retracement points, it's even better, but still just trying to travel to the normal average win from that position. Reminder that the Russell's failing right now, correct, True Algo members? One of the two, I keep trying to tell you, one of those two have to fail. Either US 30 is going to fail or Russell's going to fail. And you can see that Russell's failing at the moment. Apple and NVIDIA, after pushing down on that NVIDIA, again, I have to shift over so you can see the big wick. It's now pushed against. Apple's pushed against and trying to push into calls. So you see how these all aren't saying the same thing right now? Markets are pushing down, but the major stocks are pushing up, except for Amazon. So True Algo members, as the New York session goes on, if we can pop boxes on Apple, this is again just forecasting what can happen. Pop this box, close bearish. Microsoft pop this box, close bearish, and then Nvidia get back below again. When all of them say the same thing, Nvidia, Amazon on the right side, left side is already is. If these things all happen, that's where the shorts are going to flood in like crazy, and then we can have a bearish trend today through our system, which we want to happen, which would really help that US 30. US 30 is almost to that daily target. Reminder, there's an 80% chance that US 30 will get to this daily target here during this. I don't know if it's going to happen during the live, but during this New York session. And again, what I was trying to tell you guys about the stats, that the Russell had 4 wins today. It's now in its 5th straight play. 72% win rate on Russell. This can be where that win rate finally fails. And again, looking at Russell, True Algo members, it's the only thing that was confirmed bullish, right? Everything else is neutral, or the US 30 confirmed bearish. SPY folks looking really good to help support shorts. SQ is now above the box. We want to see that. That's really good. Sorry that I didn't keep coming back to Forex. We just had a win. DXY, the win just played out, and then you can see Euro. Again, don't ever think, guys, that you can't use 30-minute time frames. Like, this is Forex, right? It only took 8 minutes for the play to play out. But you wait for the 30-minute candle to close so that markets can be consistently in your favor, backed by stats. But there you go. This is the average move on the Euro, 36 points. And then you can see here, cleared out those first set of targets, hits our box, take profit hit. I didn't move this position or try to finagle things. You guys saw what you saw. Reminder that there was no new position here. And then look, when the new position, follow the rules, actually gets activated, you can see how quickly it moved in our favor. New position if we can get a bearish candle below there. I don't know if crypto is going to hold up really well against this. It is actually holding up really well as things are starting to push downwards. So shout out to the crypto folks. You can thank the totals for that right now. Silver just got to the average win, everybody. You guys see this on the right here? Reminder that it's 40 ticks, which is a 20-cent move on silver. And silver is very expensive per tick. So lower volatility, but it's $25 a tick on silver. So that's an $850 per contract move. And now take profit 1 is hit, trail your stop loss to break even if you have any partials, and then you're trying to get to that take profit 2, which is this next box or in this box area right here. But you could continue to get flooding. So just, you've already gotten the average. Try to trail, let things run to see if you can get more and more out of the play versus closing all of it. Big win on US 30, everybody. So shout out to you guys that were moving with me live on that. Reminder that we got that big retracement that we were wanting, and now it flooded down. That's the full average win already, 105 points. You'll see them take a little bit of profit here. And again, reminder what I was saying earlier, you guys rewind the stream just so you can see this, like we talked about this to happen, because remember, small position here and then create a normal position. And then let me draw this for you really quick. It'll just take a second. Stay with me. Remember, I said you want to make it into a normal position, but the take profit averages still exist. So look, that's what we're trying to gun for if you're going to play during live markets. Make sense? So really good play on US 30. Reminder, in order for that to work out, the Russell has to fail, and it did fail. So we did note that. And then you are correct, CJ, that with the ES hitting this box now, we have to remain neutral on any type of those ideas. That's where the US 30 helps you while you're waiting, or for a different asset class. Could play the QQQ if you get a bearish close below here. The SPY, remember, is already in bearish confirmations and playing out for those of you guys taking puts on the SPY or selling calls, whatever you guys want to do. The Euro's fantastic. Yeah, man. All good. Have a new close here in 3 minutes. Won't be staying on too much longer after that. But hopefully I was helpful to you guys today. Again, True Algo members or anyone else not a member, if you have questions, just let us know. 3 minutes, a little bit less than 3 minutes away. You guys see how the US 30, huge drop, and then now it's starting to be stale, as in now it's not moving. Again, it's why those stats are so important. Again, 105-point average move, average stat is given to you right here, and that's where they take profit. Like if you look to the left, there's no gap here for any of you guys using that. There's no liquidity being grabbed. Cool. Like you have to force a narrative to say, why is it stopping here? The biggest thing is this, you need to listen to me. As it hits that average take profit, we can't just go long now. Like it can completely reverse, but we don't chase it. It's like, this is that take profit. You can trail your stop if you want, but you've hit the full average. That's why it's there. And if you got in at that retracement point, instead of getting 105 points, you got right around 140. And then you want to look at your confluence builders. So like the ES is telling you, hey man, this is a take profit. Do not add into shorts at this point, which means you're not going to add into shorts on the US 30 play. And then the stocks, by the way, Apple did get to that box now, guys, as is Microsoft about to as well. It's really impressive how well the ES and NQ are staying bearish with how strong Apple and Microsoft just did. But you guys remember what I was saying earlier? There could be a crazy bearish trend of shorts. Microsoft did, it doesn't even have to pop that box. It already hit this one, but it'd be nice to get Microsoft just a little bit higher to then fit into this type of position, and then we could get quite the shorts, man. You can see NVIDIA just produced, or it's still in that initial puts. It just reloaded at that box. And then over here, Amazon left side of our screen, it's that one, it has popped the box above 2. You just need the candle to close red, then you can look for puts. And then if these two can do the same thing, remember, all 4 are telling you to short, that's where the flood is gonna really kick in. Copper didn't have a new position, Aziz. By the way, silver just about to put in another new low. There was no new shorts on copper right here. It was collected at a box. You'll see in just a second right here. There was no new shorts, if my memory serves me right. Come on. You guys can see silver almost just popped that next take profit. It's almost there. We've already gotten the average. Apparently I'm breaking trading view at the moment. Yeah, see there's no new move on copper, Aziz. And then Henry, you're asking a little recap on gold. Yeah, I mean, just real easy, bud. Just watch. Gold and silver. By the way, silver just hit that take profit number 2. So both done live. So Henry, silver told us to short right here, but you can't short the 8 a.m. candle because gold was still stuck in the box right there. Then on this live stream, as we tracked it, right at 8:30 when that candle closed, gold closed below this box with the bearish confirmation. And that was this position drawn. And it was drawn on there before the candle closed because we can gauge where it is. And then from there, that's where the short activated, and it just flooded straight into our favor. And now, again, by the way, silver is plummeting even more, which is fantastic. If you guys can, there's the potential that gold and silver, because there's so much area with these boxes down here, and I'm just repeating what I said earlier, that gold and silver can just continue to trend downwards, trying to get it to this 330 area. And then that'll allow silver to get down here to basically 38. Huge opportunities. The only time you would flip out of your positions is if it can close bullish above these boxes. Now you're in a long position. But right now you're just trailing stops lower and lower. And if you get a chance, Henry, just watch this stream back and keep bouncing around to see gold. We guided this every step of the way. And if you're a member, bud, again, I don't know your guys' YouTube names, just reach out to me on Discord. I can help you too. You can see gold, or not gold, sorry. Apple rejecting really hard from that box. So looking for it to fit that narrative. Just need Microsoft to shift below 2. And then the floods will kick in quite strong. Just had a new close. SPY is once again in shorts. If you weren't in shorts already, the QQQ is still holding its own. It is still neutral. So you get that QQQ to get below here, floods are going to come in like crazy. Russell is still neutral after that initial play. Remember, something had to lose, and it was Russell as the US 30 provided the win. We did just get another short activation on the NQ, but the ES is still neutral. SQ is still going really well. You guys see gold again. As soon as we got to that box now, the wick is a little bit larger on gold and silver. You guys see that? All gold was waiting is for silver to finish playing to its box. So just be aware of that. But there will be no long until there's another candle on silver that produces a green candle close. So we know now for the next 12 minutes, there's no new move on gold and silver. So like you can set this on your watch and you have to wait for the next candle to close. It's 30 minutes. So literally for the next 40 minutes, you can go take a break if you're a gold and silver trader and come back. That way you don't stare at the chart for 40 minutes. You know there's going to be no play. Again, puts on NVIDIA, the reload going well. See if US 30 continues the flood to the full box right here. And then getting to that next take profit here at 44.08. I'm getting ready to jump off soon here, so if you guys have any questions or anything, please let me know. We've been live for 91 minutes now. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. Oh, now I got you, Henry. That's all you had to say, bud. You're talking about the Hines indicator. I'm going to type that here. I just typed your name wrong. I apologize. Let's see if I can edit it. I can't edit it, but you know I'm talking to you, bud. You're talking about the Hines system. So that's a free indicator that we offer to the community. And so with Hines on that 30-minute time frame, that CPI release is right here. This is the CPI candle. And so that's the low of it here, and then that's the high of it. And so now we've closed outside of that, and so you would be looking to short right at this point, which has already played out. But you see how, like, instead of getting a short from here, the Hines system, which is free, that's a short is right there. Yep, you're welcome, bud. So now I understand why the confusion is there. So I believe you're, if you're any of you guys that want the Hines system, you just need to join the newsletter pop-up that's on our website. But you guys see if you're using the Hines, it's for when like we're not live, or if you don't have our boxes, you're going to be waiting for the positions to get in your favor with our system that you use with the boxes. The position was already activated. The Hines didn't get activated till down there. But at least I know now where their confusion was coming from, bud. You can see the stocks are starting to try to figure out what they want to do. Apple and Microsoft, I'm going to get the play drawn out of the way to avoid confusion. You can see Apple right now is now back to this reload box, and it's trying to decide, does it want to flip our system bullish or now get into bearish? Because right now it's reloading calls. And then you can see Microsoft doing the same thing. It hit this box and deciding if it wants to reload to go up or get a confirmation and go lower. That will be the decider of the ES, NQ, US 30 pushing. The puts on NVIDIA are getting better and better for a second time now if you guys reloaded. So this is why you're getting a little bit of wicks on the bottom right now on the ES, NQ, and US 30. Big wick on gold and silver now with that take profit being hit. Oil, folks, hopefully this can push up for you too as it's meandering on this lower side of the system. So yeah. All right, folks, I'm going to jump off now. I hope that I was helpful. CJ, any of the members, if you guys have any questions, please tag me in Discord or just message me with the DM. For any of you all that are not members, you can also reach out to us on Discord too. We can help answer questions if you have them, if we're able to. But don't be shy. And just remember, if you're on our Discord, we will never DM you or friend request you. The scammers will try to use our icon and our name with some type of variation and then ask you how you're doing and do you want us to trade for you? And we don't do that crap. So don't let those people get you. We appreciate you. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Feel free to watch this again, ask questions. And then hopefully we were helpful. Gold, silver, the euro, ETH, US 30 all worked out great. Russell obviously failed, but we were saying live one of them needed to fail in order to play out. And if you did take the longs on DXY and the shorts on the euro, they continue to get better as well. So hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you again for hanging out with me. I appreciate you.